This week on r/TIFU.
I have crippling depression.
Stay till the end to find out what happens when. Today I fricked up by sending my wife a random dong pic. Today I fricked up by telling my son to look up peen.
Are you mad, bro? Tell me what you're mad for.
Well, 2 days ago, but my kids are learning at home. While I help them with basic stuff, any other extra things I tell them to look it up. Example, mommy, what animals lay eggs? Look it up. Mommy, what's the weather like in Florida? Look it up. Today my son, 11, asked after reading a meme, mommy, what's a threesome? Look it up. Now in my defense, I thought he said tree swing. I walk eye on him using my phone, stupidly with no parental locks, open to images of threesomes. It was less than 5 minutes, but my pool buddy, my husband, thought it was hilarious when I told him. I feel so guilty. He had a lot of questions afterwards, which opened up a decent conversation about sex and reproduction that we were waiting to give in a few years or so. And everything has parental locks on it. Today I fricked up by getting it on with my wife in the living room after hiding Easter eggs.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
So we live in a fairly small upper flat and have 2 kids. It was about 1 a.m. Both kids had been asleep for the night and my wife and I got started hiding Easter eggs in baskets. When all this was finished up, I started feeling a bit frisky, but one of the kids was asleep on our bed, so we decided to have a quickie right on the living room floor. At some point during the act, I look up at our hallway and there is my 7-year-old daughter, groggy and just staring at us. My wife and I both disconnected, covered up with the blankets, and started laughing. I instantly just blurted out to my daughter, we just woke up too, looks like the Easter bunny has been here, better get back to bed. My daughter sleepwalks a lot and never remembers anything about waking up in the middle of the night, so I was sure she had no clue what just happened. Well, we are video chatting with my mum this morning and she asked my daughter if she got to bed on time, or else the bunny doesn't show up, I guess, and if she slept okay. Her response, yeah, but he took mum and Ad's clothes off for sleeping in the living room. Such a mischievous little guy. My mum died of laughter, our faces turned red, and now we have an Easter memory that will take my daughter a few years to fully realize.
Are you mad, bro? Tell me what you're mad for.
Today I fricked up by giving myself mild food poisoning to win a petty argument.
Be gone!
Have you ever done a dumb thing out of spite? Buckle up. I have an ongoing Ziddle infatuation, because Ziddles are a low-guilt sauce conveyor belt to my mouth. I've stocked up on pasta sauce and I'm taking mealtime seriously. Nothing is wasted, leftovers are used, end of story. So a couple days ago when my boyfriend, let's call him David, found an open bottle of vodka sauce autopilot shoved in the pantry. David, this has to go in the fridge. It's probably no good now. Me, not openly questioning my partner's judgment, but also knowing that he does not count the forehead as part of the face, so I cannot put blind faith in everything he says. It will be fine. I opened it, like, yesterday, or 2 days ago. David, it should have been refrigerated. I really don't think you should eat this. Now, I've watched David put sesame oil in the fridge. He thinks soy sauce belongs in the fridge. We have very different ideas on what belongs in the fridge. But should the vodka sauce have gone in the fridge? Probably. Was I going to throw it away, both wasting food and admitting he was right? Absolutely not. The vodka sauce goes into the fridge, instead of the trash. Cut to yesterday night, where I have already eaten dinner, but I am an emotional binge eater and I had to fill the sad with food. You know how it goes. What will make the sad go away? Ziddles with the opened vodka sauce. It was only until after I had made everything did I notice the perfect, circular fluff of mold growing on the lid of the sauce jar. But it's only on the lid, right? If I tell David about this, while he would never say, "I told you so," he would sit on this in quiet triumph for the rest of our lives. Mr. Forehead isn't part of the face guy. It's fine. The food is fine, I think, as I eat it. I tell myself that it doesn't taste off in the way that you tell yourself that vegetarian sausage tastes like the real thing. The vodka sauce quietly goes into the garbage. Cut to midnight, where we are watching a movie. Things are feeling off in my stomach, and there's some major gurgling going on. Then there's a shift, and pain explodes through the red carpet of my intestines for a good long while until I have no choice but to explain to the love of my life why I'm basically fetal. David does not say "I told you so," but I know he is secretly balancing the checkbook of arguments he's won. He rubs my belly while I cry. I love him. It's now 3 a.m. and I've been farting for what feels like my entire life. Once upon a time, I had a life and a job and could go outside. And now I have no life and no job, and my knees are at ear level while I'm on the john, serenading my septic system with a cacophony of rich bass and tenor farts. I'm sweating harder than I do when I work out. I am probably working out harder right now than I do when I work out. I am shitting my lungs out over a bad bottle of sauce and a hill I really shouldn't have died on. Don't be like me, kids.
Be gone!
Today I fricked up by not realizing how loud my vibrator was. I'm an adult now, but an Ask Reddit thread brought up a memory from 5 years ago, so I thought I would share. To paint a picture, my parents were not sex positive or negative, was never given the talk, but was never told to abstain. I went to college my freshman year, and now that I had a mailbox that wasn't my parents', I bought a vibrator. I broke my back freshman year, 100% recovery, minor surgery, and so I subsequently took a gap year back at home to recover. End of vibrator. I was 19, still a horny teenager, and banned from sexual intercourse for 6 months because of my back. I did the deed frequently, to say the least. Door closed, locked, whatever. One day I'm home alone, and I decide to get down to business. I turn the vibrator on when I realize I left my phone in the other room, so I run out to grab it. I leave my room without turning off the vibrator, and it's so loud. The room I'm going to is at the end of the hallway, past my parents' room. Meaning, if I can hear this buzzing from this room, my parents can 100% hear it. I do a quick canvass of the house and realize there is not a single spot where you can't hear the vibrator. I had flashbacks to the countless times my parents were in their room at night, probably listening to a faint buzzing and laughing at me. I've never thrown out something so quickly in my life. My parents never addressed it, but they know.
Catch me outside, how about that?
Today I fricked up by walking into my husband's work conference naked.
Catch me outside, how about that?
This just happened about an hour ago. I was actually getting dressed and ready for working at home today. My husband was working in our office and let me know he would be on a phone call. He also asked me to make him a smoothie before he had to leave to go into the office for a bit this morning. I was in the middle of fixing my hair, naked as I had just gotten out of the shower. But I knew he had a busy day and sometimes forgets to eat, so I wanted to make sure he ate and was ready for his busy day. I go and make the smoothie, still naked as I'm in the middle of getting dressed, and bring it into him, not realizing he was on a video conference call. I set it down on his desk and he just turns to me with the most scared look on his face and pushes me away. I then realized I was butt ass naked on his camera in front of his CEO, my brother who also works with him, and a whole team from India. They all saw. We will get shit for this for a while. I'm going to go crawl in a hole forever. Today I fricked up by sending my wife a random dong pic.
Do it!
So this afternoon my wife was out at the pharmacy that's less than 3 minutes from our house. She called because our insurance card wasn't working and asked for the numbers on the new cards we had just been issued. I started to read the numbers to her, but she interrupted saying it would just be easier if I took a picture. To be funny, I included my man parts in the photograph. When she got home, I asked her how she liked the picture I had sent. She seemed genuinely clueless and didn't know what I was talking about. Apparently she just handed the phone with the picture open to the pharmacist to grab the numbers off himself.
Be gone!